Hi, psychology, me again. Did you ever see one of these reward charts, maybe as a kid, where you got stickers for the day based on what you did? Or perhaps maybe you saw a red light, yellow light, green light type of approach, or something along those lines. This type of learning has to do with what's called operant conditioning. And so, operant conditioning is learning from consequences. So, what consequences are we referring to? Good behavior, bad behavior, um, rewards, and punishments. So, if you think back, you might think of, I know what I think of rewards and punishments. I think of my parents sometimes going above and beyond, making the big, gigantic statement like, you are grounded for the rest of your life. Of course, that's not what really happened. Or, um, my sister heard you're not allowed dating again until you're 30. Of course, that didn't happen. Um, but just things along those lines. Um, but you got rewarded. You got physical reward, or you got punished for doing the wrong thing. And so, as you're looking at these two ideologies working together, you have to ask yourself which one shows more benefit, rewards, or punishments. And while many parents and many teachers and many administrators, et cetera, all the way down the line, tend to associate negative reinforcement as the better option, psychology dictates that no, actually positive reinforcement is better. Now, there's a few different ways to do this, one of which I was going to talk about today, PBIS, okay? This tiered framework here kind of explains what's going on. So you can do this either by sticker chart or token economy, which is what PBIS rewards is. Okay, you guys get points that you can then use to buy stuff. So it's like a monetary currency. I know if you went to Woodsfield Elementary, they had, I believe, Redskin bucks or Redskin dollars that you could use to buy things. So a token economy, or whether it be, hey, if you get so many stickers, you get a prize, something like that, versus something along the lines of a punishment where you just constantly hear that you did something wrong. And so while both have their purpose and both are going to occur in life, you're not always going to have a positive result. Psychology dictates that the positive mindset tends to lead to better results. And so what are we looking at here? PBIS, by the way, which stands for Positive Behavior Interventions and Supports, takes this idea and runs with it. And so if you look at the green, yellow, and red, most people are going to fall in the green, which is the universal prevention idea. And so by preventing bad behavior in the first place, you don't have to punish anybody. So you do that through giving out points for doing the right thing, or encouraging people to do the right thing, or giving them positive feedback. It can be something as simple as good job, or a high five. It could be something as elaborate as giving them money. Okay, anything in between does not matter. The result is the same. So yes, we can give out points, but we can also absolutely give out just positive reinforcement, and you get the same result. So 80 to 85% of the general population is going to fall there. That's all that will need to happen for you in order for you to do what's expected of you. And so far, this year, it seems to be effective, though, we'll just have to see how the rest of the year goes. And I'm curious to see what your opinions are on the topic, on how well PBIS is working. We'll get into that in person, hopefully. Then you have targeted prevention, which is, say I told you 80 to 85%. This would be your 5 to 10% range. So for example, if you have a skill deficit, if you don't know, for example, if we're testing on pride, you don't know what integrity is. And so you have to teach somebody what integrity is. This is where you would include steps and perhaps give support groups, something like that, to help this kid along. It's not that they don't want to follow the intervention, it's that they might not understand. They might have a learning gap. One of the common things we tend to do in society is assume that everybody knows what common sense is, or that everybody understands what certain goals or things, things along those lines are, and that's just not true, not by a long shot. So we have to be able to teach people. Never assume anybody knows anything. Something to really, truly consider. As you're moving forward. So, all right, then you have tier 3, which is less than 5% of your population, okay? This is the very few people who just refuse to, this is where you need intensive intervention to get the point across. So you don't punish people in a PBIS system. There is no really punishment to it, but you're going to find some sort of intervention to help them. And so there might be differing reasons as to why they feel the way they do, or why they can't or won't reach that third level. But ultimately, you're giving out interventions, or coming up with a support plan or goals or something like that, that if they hit the goal repeatedly over time, that they will eventually move down the ladder. So obviously we want everybody to be in the all category, but I mean, eventually that's going to happen. And so through this token system, the goal, of course, is to prevent outbreaks from happening. So we don't have write-ups, so we don't have all these problems. And so far this year, I must say, so far so good. I don't know about how many points you have, if you guys have spent your points or anything, but I don't know, it might be because, the uncertainty and things like that, but really, besides a few mask things here and there, we haven't really seen a whole lot of disciplinary issues. And so, obviously, the positive reinforcer is meant to change behavior. In the same regard, punishment would have the same effect. So where I think of punishment more often than not, sorry, I'm not going to bring this up here, is academics. Athletics. Athletics. So, you mess up, you run a lap, or, oh my gosh, you missed that show, so we got extra calisthenics, or we got things. So generally that mindset comes up in athletics a lot, that you're going to get punished, but when you do the right thing and you win the ball game, it makes you feel good, right? So, so there's components to it. PBIS gets a lot of blowback because they feel like, listen, you're just teaching people how to do things that they should already be doing, but that's assuming that they know. And I argue that many people in today's society don't know the things you think they should. And so this is a way to do that. Whereas the other way, you can punish people. If they don't know what they're being punished for, it's definitely not going to be effective. It also leads to negative self-esteem, and it can actually lead to people reacting negatively back. So as the old adage goes that Grandma used to say, you get more interaction with honey than you do with vinegar. Okay, if you're trying to catch flies, that's what it was. Try to catch flies, you'll catch more with honey than you do with vinegar. So, to kind of give you an elementary example, pardon me for a moment here, I got to log into my Facebook, but there was a TikTok that became quite popular. Hold on just a second. Okay, we're going to give this a shot now. My apologies, but this is an elementary teacher explaining one of her positive behavior activities. So I thought was kind of interesting. Well, maybe. My apologies again.
Let me tell you all really quick about the best classroom management strategy I have ever used in first grade in the last 2 years. It's called Secret Student. How Secret Student works, and this is what I tell my students, is a secret student is somebody that Miss Boquette picks at the beginning of the day and doesn't tell anybody who it is. That person has to be a role model all day. I'll give reminders throughout the day and say, oh, looks like the secret student's doing a good job, or, uh-oh, my secret student is not being expected right now. If they earn the card and do a good job all day, we'll announce it, do a big drum roll at the end of the day. I'll write their name on the card and we take a picture and put it on Seesaw for moms and dads. Sometimes they don't earn the card and that's really sad, and I just say, oh, we're gonna have to try better next time. But it's a great class management tool because every kid thinks that they're the secret student, so they're all trying to be the absolute best versions of themselves. I make sure that every kid gets to be the secret student at least once, if not more. I love this tool because they don't realize it's class management. They just think they're trying to earn something, which is awesome.
Okay, so something to think about. Through just something simple as putting your name on a card, giving a drum roll, and making it a praiseworthy experience, she's able to get the classroom management strategy that she wants, the classroom environment the way she wants most of the time. So that is something to be said about that. I think we have there's a lot of negativity things that you could possibly do for sure, but the ability to change things positively definitely has a better psychological impact. So something to think about as we discuss operant conditioning. We'll talk about other things and other aspects of that, such as grouping, shaping, stuff like that moving forward. But that kind of gets to the heart of the matter as to why this is such a big deal. So let me know what you think. Like the other video, I'm going to ask that you come up with an example of something that works for you. A reward punishment system that you think might work or might be effective for just about anything you want, any behavior you want to change. I'll let that be your decision. So that'll be due when I get to see you again. So hope all right. That's all I got for now. Talk to you soon.